Hi and welcome. We would like to present to you Rekin's system and 3D multi-camera module. In this tutorial, I am going to describe 3D multi-camera feature used to create, for example, an interview scenario and a depth of field function. There are 4 cameras plugged into the system's inputs. First camera shows a wide shot. Second camera shows a medium shot with 2 people sitting on the left-hand side. Third and fourth camera show medium shots, one of a guest and the other one of a presenter. To configure 3D multi-camera, we start at 3D Studio Editor. Let's open the editor by pressing Open Studio 3D Editor button. Chosen set has a talent object placed in the middle of the studio reserved for a presenter. By clicking on it, it starts flashing in red. In the window on the right-hand side, we can find the object on the objects list. By default, source index of ABCD mixer assigned to this object is A. Click on the object in the window and start cloning. For 4 cameras, we need to make 3 copies of this object. First object will be showing a wide shot. Instead of source index A, we're taking the Enable box next to Enable Multi-Angle Mode. As you can see, an image from camera 1 appeared in place of the default talent image. Virtual camera index show VC1, meaning that the view by default has been assigned to camera 1. Options for ABCD Mixer's source index maintain off. In this place, we can find 3 more copies of this object. Let's click on the second one. Now turn on Enable Multi-Angle Mode and change VC index to VC2. That means that in this place an image from camera 2 will appear. The image appeared in place of the default talent image and now its position has to be modified. The image is a medium shot, so the object has to be lifted up above the virtual floor level. We need to repeat the steps for remaining objects. Let's also choose multi-angle mode for the object Talent 3. We want to show the view from camera 3, so we need to choose virtual camera 3 in the VC index. This image is also a medium shot, so the object has to be lifted up above the virtual floor level. And similarly, we need to configure the object Talent 4. We choose virtual camera 4 and since it's a medium shot too, we're lifting the object up. That's all we have to do in 3D Studio Editor. In this case of a wide shot, any movement of virtual camera is possible. Talent is a billboard type of an object, therefore it always faces the camera. When virtual camera 1 is chosen on the main mixer, only a 3D multi-camera view from camera 1 is visible. When switching to virtual camera 2 on the mixer, then the view from camera 2 appears in the studio. This outcome is a result of the setup in the 3D Studio Editor we did earlier. We will see the view from camera 3 because Talent 3 has been assigned to VC3. And when choosing VC4 on the mixer, we will see the view from camera 4. That way we can make production of an interview or a talk show. What's left is to set up virtual cameras positions. We use medium shots to achieve higher camera signal quality than a zoomed-in image made from a wide shot. Now we need to open Camera Setup window. We're changing a camera shot with the use of a mouse. If you press and hold the scroll wheel on the mouse, then you can move the zoom smoothly without leaps or bounds. It's important to set up the positions so that its direction and perspective correctly depicts a real camera's placement. In this case, the camera moves pointing to the left side, perpendicularly to the person's. It's best if the frame from the real camera will match the frame in the virtual studio. It's also good to keep the distance of the virtual camera similar to the one of a real camera to a talent. We can also create additional camera shots, for example with the use of micro moves or zoom in and out. Similarly, we need to set up shots for virtual camera 3. The view from camera 3 is a middle shot, perpendicular to the talent. Virtual camera should be placed in a way so that it resembles the position of the physical camera, in this case pointed towards left side of the room. It's important to avoid moves downwards. We can add additional camera shots and present micro moves and zoom in and out. An interview host was assigned to virtual camera 4. Virtual camera should be pointing towards right-hand side in this case. Let's create the shot in a way that fills up the space of the frame. Talent object has a billboard function on, so it will always face the camera from the front, even when we move a virtual camera around. For this medium shot, we can also prepare extra shots with micro moves. That would be the end for setting up the camera shots for 3D multicamera. In VC windows, we can see the virtual camera views we've chosen for each camera. By switching between virtual cameras on the mixer, we can see that the cameras visible on the program and preview windows change. That way we can make an interview or a talk show type of production. On the mixer, we can make immediate transitions using cut button or smooth ones using auto button. Now we're going to look into a new function imitating opening and closing camera iris that allows to blur the background while the talents stay in a focal point. That feature is called depth of field. Depending on a camera position and its distance from talents, blur intensity will change. Let's start the setup with a master shot. In Camera Setup window, enable Depth of Field option. By moving the slider called Power, we can change the intensity of the blur. The blur will appear behind talents and, depending on the camera position and chosen intensity, also in front. I will set up a value of 5 for a wide distance shot. If we zoom in the camera, the background becomes more blurred than it was at faraway view, but the depth of field value remains unchanged. A virtual camera 2 is a medium shot, so we can set up greater depth of field intensity. I'll set up a value of 10. Similarly, for virtual camera 3 and 4, we can also set up a value of 10. Of course, these values can be adjusted to one's preferences. We can go back to the production screen now. I'm going to move the virtual cameras around, showing you how depth of field works during production. For the medium shots, we've set up higher blur value with autofocus on talent, like in the case of virtual camera 3 and virtual camera 4. It's important to remember to adjust a virtual environment to the setup of physical cameras. It might happen that a person will appear too small or too big compared to a set and virtual surrounding. We can correct the size in the 3D Studio editor by choosing the object and changing its scale using Mode Scale in the top left corner. After such correction, we need to leave the editor and go to Camera Setup window to adjust the shot for this virtual camera. We need to place the virtual camera so that it covers up the fact that the talents have been filmed from the waist up. Let's remember that for the medium shots, where talents have been filmed from waist up, we need to place the talent object above the virtual floor level. Each time after correction in 3D Studio Editor, go to Camera Setup window to adjust the shots as well. All parameters depend on many factors, such as size of a frame, zoom of a real camera, size of a virtual set, and distance between a talent and walls. Take all factors into consideration when making adjustments. That would be all. Thank you.
Wrecking. Keen on record.